We did see that there are two techniques for proof. One is proof by induction. As you all remember, proof by induction, you will be having a statement for n is equal to 0, n is equal to k. And then if you are able to prove it for n is equal to k plus 1, you will say that the general statement holds true. It is proved. Now, the second way in which you can prove is proof by contradiction. Okay, as you all know, the word contradiction means, something which is, it doesn't hold. It doesn't hold. Now, imagine you want to prove something like P. Okay, you want to prove that, let's say, P is true. P is true. You want to prove something. Prove P is true. Now, to prove P is true, what you will do is you will assume. The word assume is very, very important. You will imagine, or for the time being, you will understand that P is false. You have to prove that P is true. But for the time being, you are assuming that P is false. And then with the assumption that P is false, you go on doing your math. You go on doing your math, and then you will come to a conclusion. You will come to a conclusion which is totally absurd. You will come to a conclusion which is absurd, and very simple, you know that the conclusion which you came is incorrect. When you come to a conclusion that it is incorrect, very simple, put the blame on the assumption. What did you assume? P is false. Why did you come to an incorrect conclusion? You came to an incorrect conclusion because you had an incorrect assumption. Okay, which means, P is false, which means, P is true. Okay, this is actually a very interesting way of doing things. You usually use proof of contradiction when there is no other way to prove. That is the last resort in mathematics, proof by contradiction. Okay, so if you have to prove something, very simple, think of the reverse of it. Think of the reverse of it. And then you come to a conclusion which is, illogical, absurd, incorrect, which means what you imagined is true. I'll give you a very simple and interesting real world example. Okay, let's simply say that, think of a lady. Okay, just think of a lady, let's say, okay, I'll just say a lady called Rani. Okay, imagine. Okay, you think that you have to prove that Rani is a female. Okay, you have to prove that Rani is a female. So how do you do it? By proof of contradiction. You will assume that Rani is a male. Think of the reverse. Okay, so now you are thinking that Rani is a male. You have to prove Rani is a female. You have to do proof by contradiction. Think that Rani is a male. Now, if Rani is a male, obviously Rani cannot have children. Okay, Rani cannot give birth to children, isn't it? If Rani is a male, she can have children, of course, but she cannot give birth. She cannot give birth to children. But Rani is your next door neighbor, and you know that Rani has 2 children. You know that Rani has 2 children, which is absurd. Okay, you are now talking that Rani is a male, she cannot have children, but you know that Rani has 2 children, which means, your assumption is false. Rani is a male, what you thought, that is false, which means what? This holds true. Rani is a female. So this is how you do proof by contradiction. You think the reverse, exactly the reverse. You go on doing your math, and then you reach somewhere where you know that you came to a conclusion which is totally incorrect, which means your assumption is false. Thus, you can prove your original claim. Prove by contradiction. Prove by contradiction that the square root of 2 is irrational. Prove by contradiction that the square root of 2 is irrational. Okay, so hope you remember what is rational and irrational. Okay, I'll just give you a quick revision of your class 8 mathematics. What do you mean by rational numbers? What do you mean by rational, and what do you mean by irrational? Okay, rational numbers can, all fractions are rational. It can be expressed as fractions. Okay, all your positive numbers, all your negative numbers, anything which is p by q, where p and q are integers. Okay, this is what you call by a rational number. Okay, irrational numbers are, very simple. It cannot be expressed as a fraction. It cannot be expressed as a fraction. Like, square root of numbers, they are irrational. Square root of 2, any square root, like, all these are irrational numbers. Okay, so hope you remember this. What do you mean by rational, and then what do you mean by irrational? Okay, so what you have to prove is root 2 is irrational, which means, you have to prove that root 2, rational means, cannot be expressed as a fraction. This is what you have to prove. This is what we actually mean by irrational. Cannot be expressed as a fraction. Okay, so now we have to do proof by contradiction. Okay, so very simple. Assume that root 2 is rational. Okay, you have to prove it is irrational, but I'm doing mischief, proof by contradiction, which means I am assuming that root 2 is rational. Now root 2, if it is a rational number, what can be done? It can be expressed as a fraction, isn't it? Which means if it is rational, it can be expressed as a fraction, isn't it? So what do you mean by a fraction? A fraction is something like this, isn't it? Let's say this will be a fraction. Okay, root 2 can be expressed as a fraction. I'll just give a random thing. It can be expressed as a and b as per my rational definition. What is a and b? A and b will be integers, isn't it? Will be integers which are in the lowest form. Which are in the lowest form, because why are at lowest form? Imagine you have something like 34 by 24. Okay, you usually never write it 35 by 24. They have a common number, 2, a common factor 2. So I write it, I go on dividing it, 17 by 12. Okay, now they don't have any common integer. This is how usually I write a fraction. Imagine I have a fraction like 60 by 40. Okay, I can write 6 by 4, and then I write 3 by 2. I go on dividing. So this is actually my end point. When you write a fraction, you go on dividing it so that nothing has Nothing is there in common. That is why I written in the lowest form, which means, they don't have any common factor. Okay, lowest form means what? They don't have any common factor. Okay, because it is rational, it can be very much expressed as a fraction, a by b. So I'll just do one thing. I'll do away with this square root. That square root is a bit of a problem over there. So I can, instead of the square root, I'll just put simply 2 over here, which means 2 is equal to a square by b square. 2 is equal to a square by b square. Two is equal to a square by b square. Okay, I'll just simply do a cross multiplication so that, I do away with my fractions. I can write now 2b square is what? 2b square is equal to a square. I just did a simple cross multiplication. 2b square is equal to a square. Now look here. 2b square is equal to a square, which means, look here, the square of a is twice b square. Just think logically. A square is twice a number. I'll just write the explanation over here. A square, I write a2, I meant a square, okay? A square is twice a number, okay? Look here, a square is twice a number. What does that mean? That means a is even, isn't it? If a square is twice a number, obviously that means a is even, isn't it? The moment you can multiply something by 2 and you get the result, it means that the end result is even. Very simple, isn't it? A square is twice a number, which means a square is very much even. Now, you think about any even number. Think about any even number. Let's say, think about an even number called 4. Or think about an even number called 78. Think about any even number. Any even number, you can express it 2 into, isn't it? When I write 4, it means 2 into 2. When I write 78, it means what? 2 into 39. When I write 34, it means 2 into 17. Okay. So when you have a as an even number, it can be very much written as twice some number, isn't it? So, I'll just simply, instead of a, I will write here, I'll just give a random number, 2k. But k is some random number. I can write 2k square. So, I'll just expand this. I'll write the whole thing over here. b square. Oh, I'll do one thing. I'll just expand this 2k square. So I can write 4k square. Isn't it? Huh? Okay, I can again simplify this. I'll just cut off the common factor 2, which means, this is b square is equal to 2k square. Oh, now again, look here. I got the same thing. B square, look here, b square is twice a number, which means b is even. So, I was able to prove that a is even, b is also even. I just did a bit of mathematics, and then I got a factor called 2. So, I was able to prove that a is even, A is even and B is also even. Okay, you were able to prove this much. A is even and B is also even. Why do I do all this? I just want to try to contradict what I told in the beginning. Now look here. What did I tell in the beginning? Look here. Look into the statement. I told in the beginning, root of 2 is equal to A by B. A and B will be integers, which are in the lowest form and don't have any common factor. And don't have any common factor. If two numbers are even, just think of any two numbers which are even. Let's say 46 and 78. They will have a common factor of 2, isn't it? You have two even numbers. You have two even numbers. They will have a common factor of 2. Isn't it? Think of any, that is how it is. Okay. Now this A guy, he is even. He is even. A guy is even. My B guy, he is also even. Okay, so I have an even number by an even number, which means I have a common factor of 2. I have a common factor of 2. But what did I assume in the beginning? That they do not have any common factor. But when I did my math, I got to see that I have a common factor. So, I can say the initial assumption is false. I came to something which is, absurd, I have a common factor of 2. But, I am telling that I don't have any common factor. So what did I assume? I assumed that root 2 is rational. What was my assumption? Okay. So what was my initial assumption? My initial assumption was I assumed that root 2 is rational. Okay, that is false, which means what? Which means root, therefore, root 2 is irrational. Root 2 is irrational. I will go once again. Okay. I have to prove that root 2 is irrational. Now, root 2 is irrational means it cannot be expressed as a fraction. Okay. So I went for something which is exactly the opposite of it. I assumed that root 2 is rational, which means root 2 can be expressed as a fraction. Can be expressed as a fraction. So, expressing it as a fraction means, I'll have two integers which are in the lowest form. Lowest form means, they do not have any common factor. So, I just did away with the square root. 2 is equal to a square by b square. I did a cross multiplication. And now I found out that a square is equal to twice of b square, which means a square is even, which means, a is even. If a is even, it means it can be expressed as 2k. I again went further with my mathematics, and then I found out that b square is also twice a number, which means b is also even. Now, I do have something. A is even, b is also even. Now, what was my initial fraction I had? I had my initial fraction as a by b. When you divide two even numbers, you will have a common factor of 2. You will have a common factor of 2 when you divide two even numbers. But what was my initial assumption? Root 2 is rational, which means, they don't have any common factor. But now I do have a common factor of 2. which means what my initial assumption was, it is absurd, it is incorrect, it is false. So this thing, what I assumed initially, it is false, which means root 2 is thus irrational. So this is how you prove by contradiction. Think of the reverse, go on doing it. In case you reach an assumption which is false, it means your initial assumption is also false.